What if stepping away from Sandringham wasn't an act of rebellion, but survival? Tonight, on Royal Report 24/7, reports suggest a royal Christmas choice has quietly exposed deeper tensions, emotional fatigue, and a freedom Prince Harry and Meghan may not be eager to give up. If you value calm, insightful royal commentary that looks beyond the headlines, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share, because stories like this are unfolding faster than ever. According to royal commentators and insiders, a single phrase has captured the mood surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex this season: too stressful. Those words, attributed to royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, are now echoing across royal circles as questions swirl about why Harry and Meghan continue to remain absent from Sandringham, and what that absence truly signals. Not as confirmed fact, but as reported perspective, this isn't just about geography. It's about emotional boundaries, unresolved tensions, and a royal family learning, perhaps painfully, that some distances are no longer temporary. As royal insiders describe it, Harry and Meghan are reportedly embracing a version of freedom that doesn't include rigid traditions, carefully choreographed walks, or the weight of unspoken expectations that come with a Sandringham invitation. And that choice may be reshaping everything for decades. Sandringham has symbolized unity. Christmas at the estate has long been the royal reset button, a place where strained relationships were expected to soften under tradition. Attendance wasn't optional, it was symbolic. Presence meant loyalty. Absence, historically, meant trouble. That's why, according to royal watchers, Harry and Meghan's continued distance feels louder than ever. Fitzwilliams' reported assessment that the environment may simply be too stressful has added fuel to speculation that the Sussexes aren't avoiding family, they're avoiding pressure. Pressure to conform, pressure to perform, pressure to pretend that past wounds never happened. Royal insiders suggest that for Harry especially, Sandringham represents more than holiday cheer. It's layered with memory, some joyful, others deeply painful. The late Queen Elizabeth II held that space together, acting as an emotional anchor. Since her passing, sources say the atmosphere has changed without her steadying presence. Tensions that were once quietly managed may now feel exposed, according to reports circulating in royal commentary circles. King Charles finds himself in an impossible position to be as monarch. He is expected to uphold tradition. As a father, he is expected to heal a fractured relationship with his son. Insiders suggest those two roles are colliding, and not gently. Some royal observers believe Charles had hoped time would soften Harry's stance. That absence would eventually turn into reconciliation. But if Fitzwilliam's comments reflect a broader truth, then the Sussexes' distance may not be about timing at all. It may be about emotional safety. Sources close to the situation claim Harry is unwilling to place his family, especially Meghan, back into an environment he perceives as judgmental, controlled, or emotionally exhausting. And Meghan, according to those same sources, has little incentive to return to a setting where she reportedly felt scrutinized from the moment she arrived. The royal insiders also point to Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose role in this dynamic is quietly complex. Publicly, Catherine is seen as the stabilizer, the bridge builder, the embodiment of calm continuity. But according to reports, even she may be navigating her own emotional boundaries. Some insiders suggest Catherine has taken a step back from being the mediator she once was. Not out of bitterness, but out of necessity. With increased responsibilities, health concerns reported earlier in the year, and the pressure of preparing the next generation for future roles, Catherine's focus, according to sources, has narrowed. That shift may have unintentionally widened the emotional gap between households. Not because of hostility, but because energy is finite. And in royal life, silence often speaks louder than words. That what makes this moment particularly striking, according to commentators, is how unbothered Harry and Meghan appear. Reports suggest the Sussexes are enjoying a rhythm of life that doesn't require palace approval or public alignment. They control their calendar, their narrative, their emotional space. For some royal traditionalists, this independence is unsettling. For others, it's inevitable. Insiders claim that Harry, once defined by duty, now defines success differently. Peace over protocol, stability over symbolism. And that shift challenges the very foundation of royal expectation. When Fitzwilliams reportedly describes Sandringham as too stressful, it reframes the story entirely. This isn't about rejection, it's about preservation. And that may be harder for the monarchy to accept that historically, the royal family has survived crises by closing ranks, absorbing conflict, waiting it out. But this situation doesn't appear to be waiting. Royal watchers note a pattern. Distance becomes normal, then permanent. What begins as a pause slowly reshapes tradition itself. Insiders say palace officials are acutely aware of how this looks. A royal Christmas without the Sussexes isn't new, but its normalization may be. The unspoken question becomes, what happens when absence no longer shocks? Some commentators believe this signals a quiet recalibration of what working royal truly means, and who gets to define it. According to reports, there's also concern about optics, that a monarchy already navigating public skepticism cannot easily afford visible family fractures. And yet, forcing unity where trust is fractured risks deeper damage. Insiders suggest King Charles understands this dilemma intimately. Pushing too hard could push Harry further away. Saying nothing risks signaling indifference. And so, the palace does what it often does best, maintain silence. But silence, as history shows, is rarely empty. What's especially compelling, according to royal analysts, is that Harry and Meghan's freedom isn't loud. It's not dramatic. There are no counterstatements, no visible jabs, just absence. And that absence may be the most powerful statement of all. It suggests resolution, not conflict. It suggests that for the Sussexes, the emotional cost of returning outweighs the symbolic benefit. And if that's true, then Sandringham's power as a unifying force may be quietly diminishing. As Royal Report 24/7 continues to track these developments, one thing is clear. This story isn't over. Royal insiders hint at conversations happening behind closed doors. Carefully worded invitations, strategic pauses, emotional recalculations. But whether those conversations lead to reconciliation or further distance remains uncertain. What we are witnessing, according to seasoned observers, may be the long-term consequences of choices made years ago finally settling into place. Not explosively, but quietly. And that quiet may be the most revealing sound of all. Because when a royal tradition loses its gravitational pull, something fundamental has shifted. Whether this marks a temporary phase or a permanent redefining of royal boundaries is still unfolding. But one thing is undeniable. Harry and Meghan appear to be choosing calm over ceremony. And for a family built on ceremony, that choice changes everything. If you want to stay ahead of these subtle shifts, uncover the meaning behind royal silence, and follow how tradition evolves in real time, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Report 24/7. Like this video if thoughtful royal analysis matters to you, and share it with someone who understands that the most powerful stories aren't always shouted, they're felt. Because the next chapter in this royal story may arrive quietly, and when it does, you'll want to be listening.